Hi, this is Christian Chase, and thanks for visiting our website, chaseforeclosure.com. We've put together one of the best security system packages for our investors. If you're an investor who's buying, flipping properties, buying, fixing, and renting real estate, you really have to have a security system, not just for things being stolen, but for property preservation. And I've really put together one of the best systems an investor can buy, which you can control completely from your phone and be alerted on your phone. And it all works off of cellular, so you don't have to have Wi-Fi installed at the property. And it's a product that's built by SimpliSafe. I've been using them for a number of years, but I want to highlight the exact package an investor should purchase. And these are very, very inexpensive. And you can move them from property to property if you want, or you could even leave it with the property if you're selling it and leave it with the new purchaser. And if you wanted to include it with a tenant, you could give them access to this as well. But SimpliSafe has where they have these pre-built packages on their website, and I really think these are designed more for like a homeowner. I've really highlighted all the items, and I'm going to show you exactly what you need to monitor your property properly. And so the main thing that they're going to give you whenever you purchase one of these SimpliSafe systems is like a base station and a keypad. So you're going to get those two items with just the main package with SimpliSafe. So then you're going to need a few other items, and I've really highlighted exactly what you need and what you don't need. Okay, so one of the first things that you're going to need is to get at least 2 motion sensors. And instead of putting the little security items on each door and each window, to me that just doesn't make a lot of sense. It's not practical. It's going to be rather expensive to do that. If you get 2 motion detectors, one kind of like if you have 2 access points to the home, which most properties have, one near the front door on the property, and then another motion detector somewhere else inside the property, maybe on the lower level where there's some sliding glass doors and a family room. So at least 2 motion detectors inside the property, so that if somebody does gain access, they break through a window, they're walking through the home, well, the motion detector is going to go off. So don't worry about buying individual little detectors for each individual door and window. Get a couple motion detectors. They're like $59 a piece. I would highly recommend that you have 2 of those installed at the property. The next item that I think you need to have is one of the water sensors. And these little water sensors, it's like a little puck. And this little puck, you stick it on the lowest level of the property or an area where there's likely going to be a pipe that could leak. You could buy a couple of these if you wanted. I always install one on the lowest level of the property, so that if a pipe does break at the property, it's going to at least let me know immediately that there has been a pipe break at the home. And it's going to alert me on my phone that there is a leak. I may not know exactly where it's at, but I know I need to get somebody out there right away to take care of that. There's also a temperature sensor that you can get. And this is great, especially for the winter months. I love this part of the product, is you can install that anywhere inside the property. I typically install it in the kitchen, underneath one of the kitchen cabinets, on the outside of the cabinet, but underneath where you really can't see it. And this temperature sensor, you could set it to a particular temperature, so if it drops, the temperature inside the home drops below 50 degrees, hey, send me alert that the temperature has dropped. Well, what that'll do is that lets you know, hey, there's likely something wrong with the furnace, and you probably need to get somebody out there to check on the property and make sure that the furnace is working properly, because if we don't address the heat in January, likely the water sensor is going to be going off next, and we don't want that because that does cost a lot more money to get fixed. So this is kind of preventative items that we're putting in place. So we're looking at getting 2 motion detectors, a heat sensor, the temperature sensor, a water sensor, and then I also would like you to get is one of the sirens that they have for the property. These are $59 a piece as well. And this siren needs to be installed in an area. Now, I don't say put it inside the home itself, put it in the attic. And here's the reason why. This is kind of like a little trick that we've learned is if somebody is going to come in and they want to steal like appliances or they want to steal something from inside the home, well, if there's a siren that's mounted to the wall with an area where you can reach it, it's easy to grab that off and maybe muffle that sound or take it out, take it off the wall and then throw it inside the refrigerator and you're not going to hear it. But what I recommend that you do is just have your rehab contractor install this this siren, which is extremely loud, put it in the attic. And the reason why I say put it in the attic is in the attic, you're going to have always in the soffit, you're going to have some vents that are going out. Now, all the neighbors, you can still hear this loud inside the property, but now all the neighbors can hear this siren is going off. And I can assure you, if you've got a thief, they're probably not running around with a ladder at the property. So if you have it up in the attic, it's very, very difficult for them to access, but it's alerting the neighbors around the property that, hey, there's some people that are inside the property potentially that shouldn't be there. And if they're walking out with stuff, well, they're likely going to also call the police on the property. So that's really, really critical, is having that siren installed in a location. Now, the base station, what we're always working with our renovation contractors, and they'll hook this all up for you. You could have it shipped directly to them. They'll hook everything up at the property. You'll have everything on your app that SimpliSafe provides you, so you can kind of monitor the property. They're not going to be monitoring the home. You will be on your phone, on the app that they have, which is a really, really great app. The only thing that we really can't use right now that SimpliSafe does offer is they have a camera. Now, since this is a cellular-based system and we don't have Wi-Fi, the problem that we run into is we can't install a camera unless we brought internet into the home. And that's just not practical yet, but in the very near future, we're going to be running everything off of cellular, so the future looks grand. But the biggest thing for me is this is not a system just solely for like keeping burglars out of your property. It is property preservation is what this is. And that is the entire item list that you need. And like SimpliSafe, as I'm speaking today, if you go on with their monthly plan, which is like 99 cents a day to monitor your property, it's like $184 for this whole package if you go on with their monthly monitoring of the home. So this is like dirt cheap stuff, and you might as well put it in every property that you do, and you can manage multiple properties from the app, and it's just a really, really cool system, but it also is going to protect the property, and it gets you a little bit more in the know of what's going on at the property. And it's super simple to install. The renovation contractor installs the battery and the motion detector and in the temperature sensor and water sensor. And then there's like little pieces of tape and you can stick it to the wall. The water puck, I guess I would say, is just something you set on the floor in the lowest point of the property, and that's just kind of sitting there. I would put it off probably like in a corner, or if you have a floor drain in an unfinished area, that's where I would recommend that go. But the biggest thing is get that siren upstairs and then getting the base station for this entire system. And that's what we're working with the renovation contractors, is where is the best place to put that? I really think the attic. If we already have electric running in the attic, put the base station in the attic at the property. But there are going to be some properties where we don't have attic access, or we don't have an attic. And if that be the case, we're going to be looking for locations throughout the property to go ahead and locate that base station so somebody couldn't unplug it and disable the system. So it's kind of hiding the base station is what we're looking to do. And we've already come up with some really good ideas inside cabinets, above microwaves, and then kind of having like a fake front within the cabinet above the microwave where no one can have access to that, but that is to that particular cabinet, but there's typically electric already in there for like a microwave or whatever, and we got to plug it in there. So we're trying to look at ways to save on that. And I think every property will be a little bit different, but I think having a system like this is going to give you a little bit more peace of mind. You're monitoring your property and not having to think about a lot. So as always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a call. And as always, visit our website, chaseforeclosure.com. Thanks.